Hey everyone, thanks so much for tuning into this video. Today we'll be taking a look at the championship predictions for this weekend. So many good games once again. What a great weekend. Last week we had Leeds taking on Norwich and losing surprisingly 3-1 to Norwich. Norwich going top of the league. What a brilliant weekend we had last week, and hopefully this weekend will be just as good. If you are new around here, make sure you smash the subscribe button if you enjoy and also like the video. And also, if you fancy it, have a go at predicting the games yourself. There will be a comment in the description which you can just copy and then paste, and then have a go at yourself. That would be really good. But let's get on to the first game, which is Aston Villa taking on Sheffield United. Now, Aston Villa, they've sort of slowed down in recent weeks. 3 draws, 1 win and 1 defeat in their last 5 games. They are still 4 points off the playoffs and still have a chance of those playoffs, but it's been disappointing recently. You know, if they'd have won just 2 of those games, they'd be in the playoffs. So it is a bit disappointing at the minute for Villa. They need to start turning those draws into wins. They've drawn 13 games this season, which is joint most with Birmingham. Sheffield United can go top of the league if they were to get a win, which would be very good for Sheffield United. They're looking very good recently. 3 wins, 1 draw and 1 defeat in their last 5 games. Recently beating Bolton 2-0. And then they'll go in full of confidence. But it will be a very tough game against Villa, especially at Villa Park. I'm not sure how this one will go, but you know, Leeds have gone there and won, and if they want to be up there with the likes of Leeds and Norwich, they need to go there and get a result as well. I'm really looking forward to this one. I'll definitely watch it on the TV. I'm going to go for a 2-1 win to Sheffield United. I think they'll do it, and I think they will go top of the league, which would be tremendous for Chris Wilder's team. As I've said before, I think what he's done at Sheffield United, at Oxford, at Northampton, and at Halifax a few years ago. But I think he's done amazing everywhere he's gone, and I think he will. I think they'll be in the conversation come the end of the season. That's the Friday night game. Then we move on to Saturday, the first of which is Middlesbrough versus Leeds. This is a big game in the Championship. So Leeds have won just 2 of their last 5 games, 3 defeats, wins coming against Rotherham and against Derby, defeats against Nottingham Forest, against Stoke, and then recently, of course, against Norwich. Since the whole Spygate, they've sort of fallen apart a little bit, which isn't good. Middlesbrough, they will be buoyed by a brilliant comeback win. They were 2-1 down against West Brom away at the Hawthorns, and they came back to win 3-2. So they'll be buoyed by that victory. 3 wins, 2 draws in their last 5 games. However, they did go out of the FA Cup to Newport in midweek, which they'll be very disappointed about. But with that win, they have a game in hand over the top 3. So if they were to get a win here and also get a result in that game in hand, they could be really within a shout. And I think that they'll beat Leeds. Leeds, I don't know, I'm not sure what's going on. They're not looking as good as they were just a few weeks ago. I'm not sure what's going on, but I think they'll struggle against Middlesbrough. Tony Pulis knows how to get a result, but having said that, their home form isn't the best. They've struggled at home. Their away form is better, but I think they'll go there and get something and win. I'm going to go 2-0 to Middlesbrough. That's a 1 PM kickoff, so that one is just before the other games kick off, so Leeds could go top of the league if they get anything from that game. Blackburn and Bristol City is next. Now, Blackburn really stuffed themselves a little bit. They had a great chance to go into the playoffs or be around those playoffs conversations and really start to be involved, but they ended up losing 5-2 to Brentford after 4 straight wins on the bounce, beating Hull, beating Ipswich, beating Millwall and beating West Brom, and they'll be taking on Bristol City, who have won their last 5 games in a row, I think. Let's have a look. 5, 6, 7, 8 wins in a row for Bristol City, including the FA Cup wins. That's incredible by Lee Johnson's men, and that form has seen them go into the playoffs and are currently in 6th place, and they'll be looking at cementing themselves in the playoffs come the end of the season. So I'm going to go for Bristol City. The reason I'm going for Bristol City is the fact that they've won 8 games in a row. They're looking very good. They're scoring a lot of goals. They're quite solid as well at the back. So I'm going to go for a Bristol City win. I'm going to go 2-0 to Bristol City. But that game could go any way. It could go either way, definitely for sure. Next game we have is Bolton versus Preston. Two sides down the bottom. Bolton are fighting for their life. Preston is not so bad. Preston are in 18th. They have a 12-point cushion over 22nd place. Reading, so they'll be pleased with that. And they're looking a lot better recently. They've signed Jaden Stockley, they've signed Brad Potts, and they've looked a lot better in recent weeks. Getting a very, very good win over QPR, going to Stoke and winning, and then a 0-0 draw with Derby on Friday night. Bolton, they've lost 4 of their last 5 games. And they're really, really struggling. But apparently there's going to be a takeover coming, which is excellent news for Bolton and the Bolton fans. But like I say, only 1 point picked up in the last 5 games. That was against Reading, who are also in the relegation zone. Preston, I think they'll get the win here. I think they're better than Bolton. I'm going to go 1-0. I'm going to go 1-0 to Preston. Sorry, I think Preston will have just enough to beat Bolton, and that win could take them as high as 14th if results went their way. So that would be a very, very, very good 3 points. Derby County take on Hull. Hull started the year absolutely on fire, didn't they? It's calmed down a little bit. 3 wins, 1 draw, 1 defeat in their last 5 games. Only 1 win in their last 3 games after that amazing winning run. Derby County slipped out of the playoffs after that 0-0 draw against Preston and have won 2 of their last 5 games with 2 draws and 1 defeat in that time. Hull are just outside the playoffs, and Derby are literally goal difference outside the playoffs. So it's 2 sides that are going very well this season and we're looking to be in the playoffs come the end of the season. Derby County, they've only won 1 of their last 4 games, and they've been struggling a little bit. So I'm going to go for a draw. I'm going to go 2-2. I think there'll be goals in this one. I think Derby will score goals. I think Hull will also score goals. But I'm going to go for a 2-2 draw. Next, we have Nottingham Forest taking on Brentford. Martin O'Neill's return to the club hasn't gone too well so far. 2 defeats and 1 win in their last 3 games, and also a defeat and a win in the last 5 games in the Championship. Brentford have won the last 3 games in a row and also beat Barnet in the replay yesterday. Beaten Blackburn 5-2, beaten Rotherham 4-2, and then beaten Stoke 3-1. So they're scoring a lot of goals. They're also conceding a few. I'm going to go for a draw here. I really don't know how to play this one, so I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw. Literally, that result could be any, but I'm going to go for a draw. I'm going to go with that one. QPR take on Birmingham. QPR are currently in 14th place. Birmingham find themselves in 8th place and still haven't given up hope on a playoff position come the end of the season. QPR, their form is very poor. It lost their last 3 games in a row in the league and also 2 draws in their last 5. 1 win for Birmingham in their last 5 games. This one is also one that could go either way, but I think Birmingham will get the win here. I'm going to go 2-1 to Birmingham. I think they'll have enough. I think that they will be just outside the playoffs come the end of the season, so I'm expecting them to get the victory. I'm going to go 2-0 to Birmingham for that one. Next game we have is Rotherham versus Wigan. 2 sides desperate to stay up this season. 2 sides that come up last season as well. Wigan obviously in automatic promotion and Rotherham winning the playoffs, beating Shrewsbury. Rotherham are currently 1 point above the relegation zone, 1 point above Reading. Wigan are 7 points above and have won 2 of their last 5 games, beating most recently QPR 2-1 at home. Rotherham, they're just starting to lose games. I fear for Rotherham, I really do. And you know, they lost to Ipswich, they lost to Brentford, they lost to Leeds, they drew against Millwall. I think this one, I think this one will probably be a Wigan win. I think Wigan are better than Rotherham, and I think they'll go there and win. I'm going to go 1-0 to Wigan, and that would be a huge 3 points for Wigan as they try to avoid going straight back down. Sheffield Wednesday take on Reading. This will be the first league game, I think. Oh no, it won't. It'll be I think his first game was last week. Actually, come to think about it, this is the first home game for Steve Bruce as Sheffield Wednesday manager, and he'll be taking on relegation-threatened Reading. They went to relegation-threatened Ipswich and got a 1-0 win. They played Wigan a couple of weeks ago and won 1-0, and I'm going to expect them to go to Reading, play Reading, and win again. I can't see any other result than a win. I'm going to go 2-0 to Sheffield Wednesday, and that could take them as high as 13th if they were to get the victory there. Swansea take on Millwall in the last 3 o'clock fixture. The Swansea are currently in 13th place. They are 6 points off the playoffs and won't have given up hope yet. 2 wins, 2 draws and 1 defeat in their last 5 games. Millwall have the same record, 2 wins, 2 draws and 1 defeat in their last 5 games. Swansea, their home form is pretty good. They've looked quite good in recent times, so I'm going to go for a Swansea win. I'm going to go 3-1 to Swansea, and that could take them as high as 8th if results to go their way. So that would be a huge 3 points for Swansea City. The final game is the 5:30 kickoff, and that is between Stoke and West Bromwich Albion. West Brom are in 4th place and really want to put that result against Middlesbrough behind them. Stoke have won 1 of their last 5 games, beating Leeds in that time. Things haven't gone too well so far for Nathan Jones since taking over from Gary Rowett. This one is the 5:30 kickoff, so this one will be live on Sky Sports. West Brom, they have won 1 of their last 5 games, which isn't very good at all, beating struggling Bolton in that time. Stoke have won 1, as I say, but West Brom have picked up a couple of draws in that time. Really is a game which will be really interesting. Obviously, it's quite a localish game for both sets of fans, so that will be very interesting to see how much of an atmosphere there. Should be a good atmosphere there. I'm going to go for a West Brom win. I'm going to go for a West Brom win. I think it'll be 2-1 to West Brom. I think they'll beat Stoke and continue their form, trying to chase down the leaders, Norwich, Leeds and Sheffield United. I'm going to go 2-1. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you did indeed enjoy, feel free to smash the like button and subscribe if you are new. Feel free to get your thoughts and comments below in the comment section as well. I'd love to hear from all of you. But thank you so much for watching anyway. I really do appreciate it. My name is Mike, and I will see you soon.